Hello, folks, and welcome to Linux for Seniors. Actually, Linux is for everyone, but this channel is generated toward people that want to learn in a simple format, and I will explain a lot of technical material the best way I can using very simple terms. None of my videos are under 2 minutes. So I highly recommend that you subscribe if this is the first time you've seen any of my videos. I usually try to take some time and explain things, whether it's for seniors or anyone else. I've not the first time I've done this. My previous YouTube site used to have over 450 videos, just to let you hear that. I'm going to be presenting something to basically, you don't need any coding skills for this. How you can actually do your own web-based icons to just about any websites for Linux Mint. Linux Mint has this tool already built in. Most people just don't know how to use it. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks regarding those tools. So welcome to Linux for Seniors. Again, I encourage that you subscribe. This video will be quite lengthy, and you can of course watch this in multiple sessions. So I'm going to use the command Neofetch to first give you system information, so you can see the Linux Mint logo done with letters. So this is Linux Mint 21.1, the Cinnamon desktop, and then we're just going to move on from there. So I have some custom icons, and try not to pay too much attention to that because we're just going to talk about web apps. Web apps is normally found in your internet section, and it's right here. I just have a shortcut of it. So when you open this box for the first time, if you have not discovered this utility, it is blank. It has 4 simple keys. I only use 3. The plus is to add something, the minus is to remove something, the pencil is to edit something, and that's to launch something. So I have some things already created here. Let me click the hamburger menu and let you see there's keyboard shortcuts. I don't really use these, but I just wanted to point them out to you. So there's the about and quit. That is all is in here. So this particular application or program is designed by the Linux Mint team. So I'm going to go directly to their website. I want you to notice the version of it, because there's several versions out there, depending on which version of Linux Mint you have. So you'll see Linux Mint Web App Manager. You can also find this in some other distributions. Here's the what I call the head man himself, Clem. I call him Mr. Linux Mint, very intelligent man. More importantly, this is their thing on GitHub. So there is a README here, and this is where people get a little bit, how do I put it, into the mode of where can I find videos? Well, you can find them we'll be finding these things on my YouTube site. But this is a very simple explanation, but more importantly, a lot of people don't know how to do a lot of the stuff I'm about to show you because that information is not here. All right. So basically we have this for your FAQs, frequently asked questions. So let me move on from here and talk about these guys. Now, how did I create these? If you take a look at this one here, I have this icon sitting here. This one actually goes to my home router. Let me click it for you. So right now it's going to ask me to log in. I have multiple routers, by the way. So it's asking me for login information. This is not internet though. This is my own router. And you can do this yourself. I'll show you those tips in a minute. But you can create just about any web-based icon. If you can click it on a web browser, you more likely can make a simple icon out of it and dump it down here. I don't care if it's Amazon or something else. Even my own YouTube site is done this way. Let me click it. I need to basically point out to the fact that I started this a couple of days ago, and again, I used to have videos up to the 450 range. Subscribe to Linux for Seniors. I also have some extra links for you. This mouse pointer here can be found right there. Watch my video on that. It's already posted for Linux Mint Cinnamon desktop. Let me close that. So how do you create these things? The first example that I'm going to do is one for Amazon. I already have one here, but this one is actually, I can actually use this to go shopping. It's tied into my username and credentials, so I don't want to click that open, but I can create another one. So I'm going to hit plus, and we're going to talk about name for a second. I could name it as simple as an A. Uppercase and lowercase, doesn't matter. You can call it test if you like. How about that? We use test. So the address, you can open up any of your installed web browsers and go look up an internet address and then copy the address out of the address field. You can usually use Control-C or right-click and copy. And you can paste it in here, or you can hand type it yourself, your choice. This does not require any coding skills whatsoever to use. None. All you got to do is fill in the boxes. So I'm going to do www, World Wide Web, in other words, and then put a dot or a period, and then type in Amazon.com. You can actually, I'll try to paste an address off the internet just to let you see it, so you can do it that way also. However, I want you to notice that it found an icon for Amazon. Not all websites will do this. Sometimes you can click this icon to find icons online, and again, you definitely have to be online to do this. Otherwise, you can't verify things. So if I were to click that, I can also pick from the system icons. These are just icons. These are not programs. They're just icons. I can pick emojis if I like. I could pick that if I like, or Mr. Kissy Face, and do that for an Amazon icon. I'll do that. Why not? It's be cutesy. Now, what's the category? It's just where it's going to initially store this icon. So these are my other icons that are stored right here. They're stored in the category called web. That's all that means. I usually just forget about this at all. So I use Firefox for most of my icons, if not all, but you can see I have different selections. The custom parameters I'll talk about in a little bit. And you can use custom parameters, and I'll show you what they do. The navigation bar, you do want. What's a navigation bar? This is a navigation bar. So yes, you probably want that. Now the private incognito window, I really don't use, to be honest with you. You can use it if you like. It takes me longer to talk about this than to create these. So I'm going to do one for Facebook in like 20 seconds. So I'm going to hit OK. Take a look at this. I have a name, I have an address, I have a funky looking icon, and I'm using a Firefox web browser with navigation bar. I'm done. So I have test sitting here. Instead of clicking this thing that says launch, I'm just going to double click on it. After I read the privacy notice, I can get rid of that. I could also sign in. And Firefox will remember my sign-in credentials. But more importantly, you can go shopping now. Okay. So, where is this icon? Is it stored? Do I have to launch this in here all the time? Absolutely not. I'm going to close this. And we're going to go to my Mint menu, and I'm going to type the word test. And I want you to see that icon. Actually, TE is good enough. It's right here. I have multiple choices of where to place icons. Right-click. I could add it to the panel. Add it to the desktop, add it to my favorites, or another Thor's hidden trick, drag it and drop it. Drag it and drop it. If you want it on your desktop, unfortunately, you'll have to click that. The drag and drop doesn't work currently. At least I haven't tried lately. No, it does not. But it will work here in your favorites and also down here on your panel bar. So I'm going to click Mr. Kissy Face called Test. And you'll see that it's going to open up Amazon. Okay, let me close that out. And then I'll go to my Mint menu and click it here. It's the same icon. If you alter the icon's name and or icon, I do highly suggest you just eliminate them and put them back. What I mean by that is unpin them from your panel. And let me show you another hidden trick. You can drag this and drop it anywhere in here. It doesn't matter. You can even drop it on top of sound if you like. It's not going to go there. It's going to go automatically back to web. Let me do this one more time for you. Where do you want to put it? Drop it anywhere else. I'll drop it on admin. It's still going to go back to here. The best way to eliminate these web-based icons is actually in here. It's the quickest. You can just click on it and hit minus. And that'll be One more confirmation, permanently lost. Yes, you can create these in a couple seconds. I'll do one for Facebook, but I'm going to do this rather speedily. So I'm going to use F for Facebook. www.facebook.com. Already found an icon, Firefox, and I'm done. Double click to test it. Read the privacy notice if you want. You get that on every time you create these things. Now my Facebook, if I had an account, was ready for login information. And as soon as I log in and close this, this will remember that up till you edit this. If you edit this box, you may have to log back in to your login type of services. And this is one of those. This is a type that you need to log in. Amazon is kind of both ways. It could be log in or not. What if you want to alter the name? You can. Providing, again, if you're going to place these icons on your panel bars or your menus, I would get rid of them, especially on your desktops, because they don't auto-update. A lot of times when you alter the names and the icon, they sometimes update in here, but I don't believe they do on your panel bar. So it's very simple to remove these, unpin them, in other words. It doesn't delete them, it just unpins them. So I'm going to correct this and just call it Facebook. I could also alter the icon while I'm at it, but I'm not. I'm just going to click that. Now that's Facebook. And that icon is now available in my menu. FA, there it is. Do you want to do it the old-fashioned way, or you want to do it my way? Do it Thor's way. Drag it over here, if you like, and then drag it downstairs. Do you have to drag it there first? No, you don't. So I'm going to actually unpin this from the panel, drag this and drop it anywhere in here, it doesn't matter. And then I can either go search for it or click for it, it doesn't matter. Facebook is right here. So I could directly drag it downstairs, that's what I'm getting at. This is still the same icon. This still goes to Facebook, I don't care how you slice this. Right click, unpin. Click in here, and again I can go either click and drag, or I could also go right click and add it to the panel, and it normally adds it to the last icon down here. So that would be down here. Can you move this icon? Absolutely. Click and drag it and move it anywhere you want. You can put it anywhere you want. Then I'm going to unpin it. So you could do it by either searching for it, as in my case I'll just do F. You can put it here, you can put it here, you can put it on your desktop, but you can only click and drag these here and here, but not on your desktop. If you do it on your desktop, it snaps back. But if you right click and add it to your desktop, you got no problem, right? Why is my icon so big? That's because I have this turned on to larger. Most of the time it's in normal. Larger. All I did was right click, customize. Icon size, larger. So if I leave this here and try to do an edit, it will not update this icon. So do yourself a favor. If you're going to update your icons in your web apps, if you are editing them, is what I'm getting at, I would first get rid of this off your desktop, and then you can alter your icon, and then go grab it from the menu and dump it back on your desktop. So let me create one from a website. Let me go find something. What are we going to look for? Well, how about some weather? All right, let's find the weather.com, and we'll search for weather for, let's say, San Diego, California. There is the weather for San Diego, California. I'm letting the web page update. I'm going to double click on this imaginary line to make this larger. Bet you didn't know you could do that. Now I taught you a new little trick. Oh, maybe you knew about that. That's okay. Now I can click in here. If it doesn't highlight the whole thing, you can use Control A. You can right click and hit copy. You can also use Control C. I'm going to copy this whole string. Why am I copying the whole string instead of just weather.com? Because it has the city of San Diego attached to this link. Copy. I minimized my web browser just in case it didn't copy properly. And now I'm going to open up web apps and drag this to the center and hit plus. I'm going to paste that command, and I know that it looks like a bunch of stringy numbers. So basically I'm going to take my key, that's my right and left key, and scroll over to the very left to let you see that it's weather.com. Now I'm going to find an icon online, and if I don't find an icon online, I can select one. Sure, the Weather Channel works for me, but let's say you don't want to do that. You can type in weather in here and see what you've got, what kind of hits you get. Oh, I got plenty. I got the clear weather one. I'm scrolling. I got this guy. Got the one with the clouds on it. Some basic ones in black and white. You get the idea? Okay, I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to hit this again. I'm going to pick that icon. What are we going to call that? Do you have to call it Weather Channel? No, you can call it whatever you want. How about weather? Let's try it. Spelling here. Spelling doesn't count either. It doesn't matter what you put in there. You can put weed eater. You can put W if you like. WSD. Weather for San Diego? No, I would probably put something that you can understand. Weather San Diego. I would probably keep it more simple, but your choice. Again, I don't care about that. Firefox works fine. I'm not using a custom web browser, so I would hit that, and because I want that navigation bar. What happens if you don't? Well, I'll show that in a minute. So I'm going to hit OK. Let's see what that weather thing looks like. So it says Weather San Diego and Weather Channel here, right? Two different web browsers. It even identifies what kind of browser you used. I'd double click on this thing. Get rid of the privacy notice. Okay, fine, not now. It's still San Diego weather, no matter how you slice this. Okay, double click. Goes back to where I had my resizing. All right, so this would be any system whatsoever. All right, so if you are using Chrome, you may have to do some adjustments. And this is one custom parameter that I'm going to make mention using the Chrome web browser to get a full-size window. That's the only reason I'm using this custom command. It's called maximized. There's another one also, but I'll make this one simple for you. So the --start -maximized, meaning that when you activate this icon, it will give you a full size instead of a half page. Because a lot of time in Chrome, when you open up these kind of web links, they'll only open up to a half window. Then you can, of course, you can double click on the line for larger, but why do that? If you can do that in one step, then I use that command, start maximized. Remember that command. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to hit cancel. So you don't normally need to do that in Firefox. You notice that when I'm on Firefox, if I double click on this thing again, and this, by the way, is available in my menu now. WE Weather San Diego. Again, I can drag it over here, drag it downstairs, and wrong one. And I can also right click on it. Too many clicks. So WE, again, I could just right click on that, is what I'm getting at. Panel, desktop, or favorites, doesn't matter. All right, so I have a couple of them, I got Hotmail set up the same way. I'm not showing any personal information because these links are common. Let's put it that way. Even that one is common. These are standard links. All you got to do is go to your, sign in your email box and copy the link into here. It's that simple. Have you ever used Flight Radar? I'm going to double click on that on purpose. Skip, because it thinks it's a new web page. And start browsing. And, all right, one more time. Come on. All right, so flight radar. I'm going to actually make this larger. Shows all the aircraft that's in the air currently. I don't know if you've ever seen this on a mobile device, but there's sure a lot of aircraft in the air. So I'm going to zoom in on the United States and just pick an aircraft out of the air. This is live data. And again, it doesn't cost anything. They've got the free version already ready for you. If you pick an airplane, it'll tell you where it left and where it's going, all the particulars on it. It even shows me the flight path. Let me pick another aircraft. That one's going from San Francisco over to Miami. This is live data, by the way, folks. All right. Change my mouse pointer to the hand for a second. This is all done with just a simple web link. So I could do the same thing by doing this, and I'm going to copy it on purpose and open up any web browser and get rid of all this junk, and basically I'm going to punch that address and get rid of the word Google because it was already in there. So let's do this properly. So if you can punch a web address into your web browser, you can of course highlight these things. Okay. So let me show you one for your home router. Where did I get this address? You get it from your wireless internet connection under network settings. You click this little box, which I'm not going to do. Whatever you're connected to, what you're going to look for is your default gateway. 99% of the time, that is the number of your router on your local network. And you can paste, once you log into your router on a web browser, you can take that address and paste it right in here, call it home router, assign it whatever icon you want. Because you're not going to get an icon online. Your home routers do not carry those. However, you could pick something from the system. I don't know if they have, I don't think they have anything for routers in here, but maybe something to do with web. And I don't know what you can pick in here. But there's lots of different icons that you pick for your home router if you want to. Now, where did I get mine? I got this logo from the actual router manufacturer just by punching in the name of my router, and I found a JPEG on it. Threw it in a folder and basically just brought it into here by assigning this through Browse. It's sitting in my icons folder. I have lots of icons. So that folder sits in my home directory or home folder. I just created that, dumped a bunch of icons, and then used that PNG icon to assign it to this particular web link. And it's really simple. Really simple to do. And it's using Firefox. So one more time, what does it do? It logs into my router. What is it good for? My router's in my garage. I actually have a couple more, but that particular one is in the garage. I don't want to get up and get a computer next to it. I want to sit in my office and log into my router to change the passwords or turn on and off the guest network if I'm having guests over, or just generally updating my firmware. And you should update your, or at least check your firmware once a month on your home routers. Highly advisable. But this will allow me to log in. I'm not going to log into my router here. I'm not going to share passwords, in other words, with you. But this is the address to my home router. And your network will be really typical. 192.168.1. If you want to think about it, your router's head cheese. He's number one. That's how you can remember that one. So a lot of your home network will start with a 192.168.1.1. Does that make sense? And then don't do this. A lot of people will say, well, you should use HTTPS. That's the secure end. Watch what happens when I do that. Now, my router does not have any security certificates. It wants to challenge me with a username and password. So if I put an S in here and hit OK, which is an edit, watch what happens when I try to click on this thing. It's a security risk. Why is that? Well, first of all, because I don't have a security certificate on my router. Okay, that's why I'm getting this error. So don't help. Most home routers do not need an ask. Your home router wants to challenge you with a username and password. And don't tell me your home routers are not locked down with a username and password. Everyone should do that in today's age. So I'm going to remove the S, and then I'm going to hit OK. S just means secure. HTTP is hypertext protocol. You'll see that on all your web pages. It'll either be HTTP or HTTPS. So now it should work, and it does. Let me show you a typical web page. So let's open up this. I will use DistroWatch as my guinea pig. There's the address, HTTPS. I could also use this as my little icon guinea pig copy. Do you know what DistroWatch is? Have you ever been here? I have a link on my YouTube site for this. Let's make an icon for it. Let's see if they have an icon online. If not, we'll create one. Yeah, they do. I got a small one, but that's fine. We're going to call that DW. How's that? For DistroWatch. We'll use Firefox. Navigation bar on. Okay. Close this. I'm pretty sure I did the right job. DW. There it is. I'll stick it on my panel bar. Close. Anyone can do these kind of icons, folks. Anyone. You don't need any computer skills, really. I mean coding skills. As long as you can click and drag and type. Is that DW icon available to stick in here? Absolutely. How many ways can I do this? Well, I could just drag it over here. I know I can just do that and get rid of that little posted message. Or I could drag it back out and drop it, or do a search, DW. Right click, add to favorites. It blanks the menu out and it's the last icon below. That's normally how that works. So if I were to add another icon using the old-fashioned method like GIMP, right click, add to favorites, it blanks the menu out and it'll put it right below the DW icon. There's another trick for you. And another trick for you. By the way, notice the gap on how tall this box is? I'm going to click out and click back in. It resized itself. I will be producing more videos regarding Mint about some customizations, but this is generally turned on by default, but you can actually turn it off, that feature that does that. Let me get rid of this long list of junk. I've been working on a lot of videos lately, folks. So anyways, this menu, depending on how many icons that you put in here, will climb all the way up to about right here. And as you remove these out of here, this will shrink. You get the idea now? You can always put them back. And as you probably noticed, some of my icons are custom. Like the games icon is actually Darth Vader. Yeah, I got a weird sense of humor. And my software manager icon is a little different from yours. But this icon should be the same. So whenever you are creating a web-based icon, again, it doesn't require any coding skills whatsoever. And you wanted to get rid of something permanently, you just hit the minus key. So what happens to this icon here? Watch what happens when I delete this. Okay, it's out of this menu, correct? But the icon is still here. Watch what happens when I click on it. I get an error because it's missing. The profile is missing. It doesn't know what to do with it. So your only choice on this one would be unpin. If you had it sitting in here, it's more than likely gone. If not, drag it out and drop it. Same thing goes with your desktop. And you can always recreate this icon. How fast can I do this? I think I still have it in my buffer. So DW, is it? Yeah. Do I need to use their icon? No. You can use an emoji if you like. So I'm going to hit cancel for a second and pick something silly. So I could pick this monkey, for instance. And I do need a navigation. What happens when you don't use a navigation bar? Let me show you that example. This is still DistroWatch. Okay, so it's going to go there. What I want you to notice, there's no navigation bar. It's just a close and open and resize. I'm double click on that. There's nothing else up here. So a lot of times when you create these things, you wanted a navigation bar. So that's the difference. So now I have a navigation bar. Then of course, if you turn on some of your menu bars and etc., that'll also go with it. This is still distro watch. I don't care how you slice it, even though it's got a monkey on it. So let's fix that. Okay. And now DW should be back in my menu. And what can I do with this icon? Well, I could right click and do the old-fashioned way. Add it to the panel, add it to the desktop. I have to do that anyways if I want the desktop version. Add it to favorites and panel, you can click and drag. And I can actually drag it from here too. They all work the same way. Okay. Why am I doing so many of these things? Just giving you an exercise on how many different ways you can do this. Whether you copy and paste the address out of your internet web browsers or manually put them in yourself, it doesn't matter. If you can do a cut and paste, you can paste an address in here. If you can't find the icon online, you have lots of choices. You can pick some from the system. You can browse for your own files. I'll show you another example of this. Let's see, what are we going to use for a website? Well, we'll just stick with Amazon. How's that? So I'm going to use AA. I'm just throwing letters at it because you can. It doesn't matter what it's called. Call it test if you want. www.amazon.com. It's just something on top of my head. So I don't want to use their icon. I want to use my own. So I can browse my own folders. So I have a folder called icons. I also have another folder called .icons, but that's where this mouse pointer is stored. Watch my video on that if you're curious. So I have lots of icons in here. So I'm going to pick something silly. How about a stormtrooper? Just to have some fun. All right, so that's actually going to be Amazon, believe it or not. So let's close this box and I'll type in AA in the search field. And there it is. So I could put him here. I could put him downstairs. I could right click and put him on my desktop. Now you can see what he looks like in a larger way. So where's this going to go? Well, I don't know. It says AA. It goes directly to Amazon.com. So does this one. Previous tabs? No, I don't really need any of that junk. So if you open that again, it's not going to ask for that. It's usually just the first 2 clicks. These are all going to the same source. Okay? So if I delete this thing here, it severs the links on all of these. I'm getting errors right and left. It removed this one though. So basically you just unpin it and delete it. It's that simple. So you can see the versatility of this box. It's really simple to use. You don't need coding skills. Anyone can do this. Home Depot. Now I didn't need to go, I actually had to go find the icon for the Home Depot icon online, but I copied that icon itself, the Home Depot logo, from I believe their source, and you can just do a hunt for icons for Home Depot and copy it into a folder so you can use that. Otherwise, if you try to create one for Home Depot, for instance, let me cheat. I'm just going to use the actual link so I don't have to retype it. So I'm going to copy that. So I'm going to create one for Home Depot. I want you to see it won't find the icon, or at least the last time I checked, it didn't find anything. See, it's blank. So now I would have to, so we can call this HDD, because the other one I think is called HD, maybe. Call it anything. But we could assign it anything from the system. These are just icons. You know, I could even assign that if I like, and that could become your new icon. If you don't want to do that, is to go find the icons online. This is still Home Depot no matter how you slice it. Okay, get rid of all that thing there. It's asking me, can I use your home address? Yes or no? I'm just going to say no. But more importantly, it goes to that website. You can see how fast you can do this stuff. Again, the reason I got this icon is because I downloaded that icon. A lot of these will automatically find these icons. Let me delete this and give you an example of Flight Radar. I'm going to create that one from scratch. So let's say you copied this from a web browser. Just pretend. Just humor me, folks. Hit plus. You got to have a little fun in life sometimes. All right, so I'm going to click this little guy here. It should find an icon for this. Not all websites do, though. So the mobile app looks just like this also. And yes, it's available on your mobile app. Why do I use Flight Radar? Well, you can't wait at the airport anymore, can you? You try to go into the lobby, they say you got a ticket. If not, get out. You got to circle around the airport for hours. If you're waiting for a loved one, there's nothing better than, I'm just going to call this test 2, whatever. And I'm going to complete the process and open this up. So test 2, I'm going to double click on. And I'm going to let this thing open. First of all, I got to answer the questions. And sure, I'll take the cookies. Thank you very much. Since this is just double click. So if you know your loved one's airplane flight number, you can punch it into there. Or you can have fun and take a look at the airplane in the air. Because once you find the flight number, it'll highlight it. Or you can just have fun to click on airplanes. Where's this one going? That one's going to Sydney, Australia. I left Vancouver, Canada. You can see all the particulars on it and see the flight path. This is live right there, right now, as of this very moment. Okay? You can click on any aircraft. That one's coming from Anchorage. Now if I zoom out, you can now see Alaska up here, and you can see its flight path. I didn't know they travel that far off the ocean, but there you have it. Even tells me all the flight information on it. Kind of a cool looking app, huh? Yeah, that's why I use Flight Radar. So I used to do a lot of flying, and more importantly, once in a while you pick up family members at the airport. It's kind of nice to know when their plane is landing instead of hovering around the airport like a vulture. This way you can find and get an idea if the plane is delayed. That's why I use Flight Radar. I'm going to get rid of that one because I already have this. So you can do your mail services, whether it's Gmail, Hotmail, or whatever mail, anything technically that you can log into on the internet, insurance companies, your utility bills, whatever it might be. If you can log into it on a web browser, you can more likely make an icon out of it. That's how I feel about this web apps. So have fun with that. So hopefully you have subscribed to Linux for Seniors. I will have some more videos moving forward on Linux Mint, whether it's the other two flavors. This is cinnamon. Maybe it's mate. Maybe it's XFCE. So I believe web apps is available for all 3 of those flavors. And I've seen web apps absolutely in other Linux distributions, believe it or not. Thank you for watching, folks, and you have a wonderful tomorrow.